Hello, Princess on a Pillow here, and I am here to do a comparison between Michael from Life and Love After Lockup and Jay from 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days and Happily Ever After. Um, let's get started with Michael first. Michael is from Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. And Michael has been in jail for the majority of his adult life. I think he's like 28, 27, around that age. He has a wife and a daughter. I'm not sure if he married her while he was in prison, but he had a daughter first. The daughter's like about maybe 3 years old. So while he's in prison, he meets, his wife's name is Sarah. And while he's in prison, he meets Megan. Megan is a virgin. So Michael does not tell Megan, the virgin, that he is married. And she claimed they talked for like 2 years. And I think he married Sarah while he was in prison, while he was in jail. I'm not sure, but they're married. Michael and Sarah are married, and Michael and Megan are dating. And for some reason, in her head, she thinks that they're engaged. That's her fiance. So it's time for Michael to get out of jail, and Megan, the girlfriend, well, he said she's not his girlfriend, so and she's not his mistress. Mistress, you set up in a house and you buy her gifts and stuff. So maybe she's just a side piece. But anyway, Megan, the side piece, is at the airport getting ready to purchase her ticket to come see Michael because he's getting out of jail. While she's at the airport about to purchase her ticket, Michael calls her and tells her not to come. She is upset. She runs to the bathroom and she cries. Meanwhile, Sarah, his wife, goes to pick him up when he's released from jail. And she takes him to his mom's house so he can see his mom and his sister and his cousins and his uncle and his auntie and them and all of that. And his friends and everything. Good reunion. But then she gets pissed. Sarah gets pissed at Michael because he goes off with his friends and leave her all alone. Okay. So, they make up after that, and then they eventually have sex, and she gets pregnant again. So now she has a child for him, and now she's pregnant. When he finally does get to see his daughter, she doesn't recognize him because she wouldn't go to him. She was being very finicky, and she wouldn't go to him. But it took her a little while, and she warmed up to him. So he eventually gets in touch with Megan, and Megan flies out to see him. And they go to Niagara Falls, then they go to a hotel, and she gives him her virginity. He had to leave that little rendezvous early because he had to check in with his parole officer. So he told her while he was with Megan, his wife Sarah was calling him to let him know that his parole officer was trying to get in touch with him. So he finally checked his messages and realized that his parole officer is trying to get in touch with him, so he had to leave the rendezvous with Megan early. So he left her in Niagara Falls and goes to check in with his parole officer. So I guess she went back to whichever state she's from. I don't know which state she's from, but they're in New York. Michael and his wife, Sarah, and kid are in New York. And mom and sister and cousin and them, they're in New York. So, Megan wants to see Michael again. So she says, I'm booking a flight and I'm coming out. I'm coming to see you. So he goes to pick her up from the airport on the same exact day he's supposed to check in with his parole officer. Excuse me, I think I'm catching a cold. So yeah. So she comes in the same day he has to go check in with his parole officer. So he goes to pick her up from the airport. He's driving, trying to find the office to the parole officer. I don't know if it's the jail. I don't know where the parole officer is. I don't know anything about that. But and she's putting the address into the phone. And she put the wrong address in, or the GPS turned them around. For some reason, they got lost. So he's really sweating now. So he asks for directions. They got directions, and he finally gets there. And when he gets there, he's late. He's about 15 minutes late, and I think he's been late before. So now it's a problem. So they took him out of the car, searched Megan's, the side piece, luggage, and they arrest Michael because he's not, when you're on parole, behave yourself. Parole is to see if you can behave yourself and function in society. And He's late for his parole. You can't just be late and show up whenever you want. You know what he probably should have done? When he realized that they were lost, maybe if he had given them a call and said, I'm on my way, I'm lost, I got turned around, but I'm on my way, I'm about 15 minutes away, and I'll be there as soon as maybe if he had called. But when he shows up, they arrest him. Because I think it's more than once that he's been late. So he gets arrested. The next thing we know is his mom goes to the hotel where his side piece Megan is and let her know that that Michael is arrested. And I think she told her how long he's going to be away for. I can't remember how long he was away for the second time, but it wasn't long. Maybe a few months. It wasn't a year or anything like that. Maybe 3 or 6 months or something like that for violating his parole. So then someone informs his wife, Michael's wife, Sarah, that Michael was arrested, and he was arrested with a girl in the car. He was arrested because he was late for his parole, and he had a girl in the car. So it all unravels now. Now she knows that Michael has a side piece named Megan. So all hell break loose. What's her name? Sarah decides to meet up with Megan and confront Megan and to find out exactly what's been going on. You know, who is Megan? When did you meet him? What's going on? Are you having sex with him? Do you know he's married with kids? Do you know I'm pregnant now? You know, they hash it out. So now Megan knows exactly what's going on. She knows that Michael is married to Sarah and has a daughter. Well, she knew he had a daughter, but she didn't know that he was married. So now she knows that he's married and he has a baby on the way. So that means Michael was sleeping with Megan, sleeping with Sarah, sleeping with Megan, sleeping with Sarah. So yeah. So that's Michael's story. They both know about each other, but they're both with him. So he goes back and forth from one to the other. He's out of jail now for the second time, and he's I don't think he's been with Sarah, his wife, since he's been away. Because when he got out of jail the second time, his mom and his sister and Megan was there to see him. But Sarah wasn't. They got, what's his name? Michael's sister, she has a weird name, Dede Dada. She called Sarah to let Sarah know that Megan picked Michael up from the jail and Sarah went off. So that's that. That's Michael's life. And now Michael is lusting after another cast member, Jasmine. He's like salivating at the mouth when he says her name. I'm like, really? I think he wants a sister-wife type situation. He has his wife, Sarah, who stays at home, take care of the home, and have his kids. Then he has Megan, who is the freak he does in hotel rooms. And now he wants sweet, I'm going to say innocent, I don't know, naive Jasmine. Jasmine, I think, is 19, and he's 28. Michael is 28. So there's a tad bit of an age gap. Not too much, but she's too pure. I shouldn't say that because I don't know this girl, but I think she's too pure for you, Michael, and I think that's what he wants. He wants the pure innocent now. He got the freak. He got the one that's just going to have sex with him and have the babies, and now he wants the innocent. So he wants, it's a sister-wife type situation. He got all the different type women rolled up in one. I think that's what he wants. I think he likes relationships because he wants to feel nurtured. He wants people to feel like people are there for him, or taking care of him, and they love him. I think that's his deal. On to Jay. Jay is on 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, and Happily Ever After. Jay is a Jamaican. The way they told the story was that Ashley was on vacation in Jamaica and she met Jay. Then she came back from her Jamaica trip to the States, and Jay was hitting her up on social media. Then she went back over to Jamaica, and they started dating from there. But that's not the way someone else told it. Someone else said that Ashley's friend introduced them online, and then she went to Jamaica and met him. I like the first story better. I like the story that she went to Jamaica with her girlfriends on vacation, and she met him, and then her vacation was up, so she came back to the States, and he looked her up. She said he looked her up on online or on Facebook or whatever, and they started chatting, and then she went back over there, and they just had a ball, and then she decides to sponsor him 401k visa and bring him over to the States. And she brought him over to the States. They go to Vegas. They get married. But I also heard through the grapevine that they were married before they went to Vegas. There's all kinds of different stories going on with Ashley and Jay. But anyway, the way the TLC tells it is they went to Vegas for the first time and got married. And a few days after their marriage, Ashley called him on, she called him, she found out that he downloaded a dating app and was, talking to girls on this dating app. And she was pissed. And she gave him the cold shoulder for a while. She went to New York and chilled with her girlfriends. She got dressed up and, hung out with her old boyfriend. She's pissed and she's giving him the cold shoulder and she wants to feel better about herself. So she's, going off with her girlfriends and going off with his ex-boyfriend and just trying to punish him and leave him at home all by himself. So she finally decides to forgive Jay and move on with her marriage. I ate earlier and now I keep burping. Anyway, yeah. So, everything is cool. So, come to find out, I can't remember how she found this out. But anyway, Jay goes to the barbershop. The guys at the barbershop gave him a job because he goes there belly aching, crying, saying how Ashley hasn't filed his paperwork yet for him to get his visa so he can start working and driving and doing all that good stuff. So they feel sorry for him. So the owner of the barbershop gives him a job. Come to find out that while Jay was tattooing a girl, the girl offered him some sex. He takes her to the bathroom in the barbershop and has sex with her. Pissed off the owner kicks him out. So I don't know why Ashley decided to go to the barbershop and inquire about it. But anyway, she went to the barbershop. Oh, I think they called her. The guy at the barbershop called her and told her, I need to talk to you. So she comes down to the barbershop and they told her about the bathroom incident. So she is pissed. She's on her way home. She calls Jay on the phone and she tells him that she knows, and he hangs up on her. Then she calls him again and he finally admits that yes. Well, first he said the girl offered him a blowjob. Then can I say blowjob on this channel? A BJ. I already said it, right? But anyway, yeah, a BJ. And then he finally admits. He said everything they said happened. So then she's pissed. She is done. She is just so she tells him, I want you out of my house. I'm gonna pack your stuff and I'm gonna put it out on the porch. Come get your crap, and that's it. We're done. So she goes home. And her girlfriend comes over and they start packing up his stuff and throwing the bags down the steps. Jay comes over and they're in the living room drinking wine and he sits down and she starts yelling and screaming at him. And he said, well, whose fault is it? And she gets mad because he says that. And she gets up and she grabs him and she tries to shove him out the door. And the friend gets in between them and, shove him out the door. And then she calls the cops because he's standing in front of her door. And the cops, domestic disputes like that, I think you can't throw your partner out because that's where he lives. But because when the cops was talking to him, they said thank you for leaving because they're just wanting to get the situation under control because they knew if he stayed there it was going to be a problem. So they told him, well, thank you for leaving. So it was his choice to leave, but it was best that he leave because she was so angry with him. But yeah, that's what happened with Ashley and Jay. I hear now that he was arrested, he's in custody or whatever, but she tried to get him to go to, well, he wanted to go to Florida to be with his brother, so she bought him a plane ticket and she put him up in a hotel room because his flight wasn't until the next day. But I also heard that she got him an apartment. So their story is all over the place, But anyway, that's Jay's, the type of person Jay is. Jay looks like he just wants to have sex with anyone, anytime, any place. I mean, anyone, anytime, any place. That's what he wants to do, just have sex. But Michael, comparing him to Michael wants relationships. I think Michael wants relationships because Michael wants to feel love. He wants that connection. He wants the sex and he wants the connection. He wants to romanticize it, but Jay doesn't want no romance. He just wants to have the sex and move on to the next. So that's the difference between Jay and Michael. Now, which one is worse, would you think? I don't know. I think they're running neck and neck. I think they're probably running neck and neck. I'm just trying to figure which one is worse. Because Jay is only hurting Ashley, his wife. Michael is hurting Megan and Sarah, his side piece and his wife, because his side piece is head over heels in love with him. So, I don't know which one is worse. I think Jay's worse. I think Jay's worse. Because Jay's will crawl into any hole. He'll just hit it and walk off and not think twice about it. So I think Jay's worse. So yes, that's my comparison with Jay and Michael. And the conclusion is I think Jay is worse because I think he's a little gross. Yeah, so that's my take on that, and that's it. Princess Sunapil here. Thank you for watching. Bye.